I'm going to open up a new page and then ask you similar questions, kind of preparation to that question. For instance, the first example is here, 2 to the power x to the power of -2 times y to the power of -1 times z to the power of 3, okay, over z to the power of -1 times x to the power of 3 times y to the power of 5. What does that equal? Looks pretty complicated, right? Lots of variables with negative exponents. But you just need to focus on the ones has negative exponents. It's a very simple solution. When you see negative exponents, you're going to move it. If it's in the numerator, you're going to put it down to denominator. If it's in the denominator like this, you're going to put it up to numerator. If it's positive already, it will stay same. Okay, let's make this one negative also. Okay, now let's get started. So x squared here, it's negative. Only thing you need to do, put it down with positive. Okay, is that clear? If it was negative, it's going to go down as positive. And now it's y to the power of -1. So it's going to go down as plus. Okay, and how about here? Z cubed. So do not change it. It used to be here and it was positive, so you're going to keep it. Okay, now I'm done with the numerator and I'm going to check the denominator. Z is -1, so you're going to put it up. Z to the power of +1 now. Okay, x cubed, so I will write it down as it is, x cubed. Bless you. And now I'm here, y to the power of -5. Since this is negative, you're going to send it up, y to the power of 5. Now everything is positive and looking good shape. Okay, then you're going to do like terms. If the bases are same, and if you're multiplying, if the bases are same, what do? You add exponents, right? 3 plus 1 is equal to 4. And there's only y left, y to the power of 5. Is there any like terms here? X's are like term, x to the power of 2 to the power of 3. So when the bases are same, you add exponents. 2 plus 3 is equal to 5, and y to the power of 1. This is how we do. But there's also two like terms are here, right? There's more like terms, such as exactly. So when the bases are same, if you're dividing, if it's division, y to the power of 5 over y to the power of 1. When the bases are same, you subtract exponents. Okay, so let me write that there. Let me do that separately over here. Y to the power of 5 over y to the power of 1 is equal to, when the bases are same, you subtract exponents. So where am I going to write this? Y to the power of 4. Up, z to the power of 4 times y to the power of 4 and x to the power of 5. This example was kind of longer. I'm gonna ask shorter one. A to the power of -2 times 5 times, okay, that's enough. B to the power of -3 times 2 is equal to. Can you do math on that and tell me the answer real quick? Should I change 5? No, okay, I wrote that down here. A to the power of -2. What's going to happen about this? Move it down. A squared. Good. I used 2 of them, so yes. Say again. Move up. E cubed. Positive. I'm done with this 2. It stays. Let me write that in a better way. 5b cubed over 2a squared. Any question? Now let's get back to the original question and do the same thing. All right, now x to the power of negative 2. Let me write here x to the power of negative 2. X goes down, okay, and then I use this one. So in order not to confuse, I cross it because I put it down there. Y to the power of negative 1 goes up, correct? And let me write down the rest of y to the power of 1 over 2. I wrote this one down, and x to the power of 1/3. So when you look at the answer choices, this one is 1 over 2, this one is 1 over 3. Okay? So after then, let's check the answer choices. What is that? For example, what does that equal? Y to the power of 1 times y to the power of, remember, index is 2. You remember how to convert it to the exponents, radical to exponents? Index goes as denominator, y to the power of 1, right? And numerator goes to, exponent goes to numerator. Okay? Over x times, who's going to tell me that? X to the power of what? 1 over 2. Good job. There is 2. Is that the same? No, not the same. Pretty close though. So that means this portion is right. Let me write that again. Y, I'm writing this one. Y times y to the power of 1. Y to the power of y. 1 y. Y times y to the power of what? Index is 2, goes to denominator. Index goes denominator, exponent goes numerator. Over x squared times x to the power of, yes, index is 3 now, goes to denominator. And exponent is 1, goes to numerator. Is that the same? Now we got to figure out. So probably you were quiet on this one. I think you forgot how to convert this. For example, y, we did pretty much a lot of examples about it. For example, y to the power of 5, index is 4. How to convert it? Index always goes to denominator, exponent goes numerator. Backward. Let's do backward. For example, another example. 4, 3x, and let's say 2y. Doesn't matter. You know the rule. 4 to the power of index 2y. Always goes to numerator. This guy goes numerator. Index goes denominator. Exponent goes numerator. This is one of the basic, one of the most important rules. Fundamental of radical expression. Okay? It's better to do more practice when you go home. You're going to type, you're going to go to Khan Academy, you're going to type radical expression, and you do more examples on your own. It's telling us this is a, the graph, it's a parabola. Since this is a parabola, as I said, you said you smiley face or sad face. It's going to be that or this. Which one is that going to be? What do you think? Smiley face or sad face? Smiley face, because it's plus. You're right. Okay. Which of the following intervals contains the x-coordinate of the vertex of the graph of f? Okay, now let's graph the graph. What number makes here 0? -3. So it's the 0 of that. -3 here. And what number makes here 0? -1. That's right. It's right here. -1. -1. So you said the graph is going to be something like this, right? So let's make the graph. Roughly, guys. Does that make sense? I just drove that roughly. And what do you think? What is the x coordinate of the vertex? Where is vertex? Right here, vertex, right? It could be somewhere else here. X equal to -2. So which answer could be correct? Everybody, look at the question. Since this is a SAT, we're going to use techniques. Remember the technique that I showed you. You can try that, but I'm going to show you one more, something different first, and I'm going to use your technique. Okay? Now, 5 plus 2 over 3y. How we were solving this? How we were doing that? Do you remember that? Before this, yeah, you can do it, but this is talking about shortcuts. Multiply, add, keep the denominator same. Does that make? Do you remember this one? Yes. Okay. Multiply 2 of them. Tell me, 5 times 3y is equal to 15y plus 2. Keep the denominator same. Okay. So because this technique is way better than doing this, 2 plus 3y, you can do it, multiply by 3y, you can make this 3y, and then multiply this one by 3y, it's going to be 15y, it's going to be same thing, right? But this is kind of more challenging, this is faster. Now let's get back to the original question and solve it. Okay. We're going to do the answer choices, we're going to try answer choices. If you don't then we were supposed to break this down. Yeah, it's going to be more harder. Now it's easier because we do have answer choices and we'll do it either way. It's a test. Which one you want me to try first? I mean, which answer choices? Thank you for being on test.
I would like you to try C.
C. Okay, let's get try C. X plus 1. Go ahead. X plus 1 times plus
oh yeah.
then
and then
add 8, right? But
yes.
Adding, but since it's negative, it's supposed to be negative. And
over x minus 3.
X minus 3. Yes, I put minus 8
because
this is negative. Since it's, yeah, you're confused about this, right? Because I said you add here, right?
Yes.
But because it was plus, that's why we added. Okay. If that will be minus, I would be subtracting that. Okay? Now let's continue. Is that the same? Yeah, denominator, we catch the denominator. But what we're going to do, we're going to distribute it. It's going to a little bit longer. X squared minus 3x plus 1x. Minus 3x plus 1x. Minus 2x. Minus 3. Is that if that portion, we catch that portion, that's nice. Okay. Now
that's wrong.
Minus 8. If I write here minus 8, that will be this. That means this answer is not correct. What if look at this. Rather than let's say we were doing this one, okay? Minus 2. Did you understand? Look at the answer choice D. Minus 2 over x minus 3. Is that the same now? So that means answer is D. I just quickly I swapped from C to D because if I would write there 8, it's going to be x squared minus 2x minus 11, so it would not be equal. So I quickly changed that, and then rather than 8, I put there 2. So the restriction states that for the axis shaped like rectangular prisms. So some of the rectangular, let's try to make a rectangular prism here. Perimeter of the base of the box, which is, yes, the perimeter of the base is determined using the width and length of the box. Okay, we know that. If a box has a height of 60 inches, height is 60 inches,
Yes.
and its length is 2.5 times the width. Okay, if I call this one x, I didn't, this is supposed to be longer actually, it's kind of something like longer, but let's assume that it's 2.5 times, yes. Is there any question so far?
No, sir.
If this one is 1 unit, this is 2.5 units. The shape is not drawn by scale, so, and then which inequality shows x in inches of the box. We're looking for x. Okay, let's read to use this number. Okay, the box cannot exceed 130 inches. The perimeter of the base.
That's the 130.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, let me explain this.
Why is it 0 at the end? 0.
So, okay, there's a great question. Why these are 0? Must be greater than one dimension must be greater than 0. Why?
Because
Let's say it's -1. Is that possible?
No.
Let's say 0. Is that possible? We're talking about a solid figure here and -5 inches. Can you say that? The distance cannot be negative. Distance cannot be, if there's a figure, cannot be equal to 0. So it has to be greater than 0. Good question. Then it's saying that the perimeter of the figure plus the height is less than 130. Perimeter plus height less than 130. And height is given, which is 60. How to find perimeter? We're going to add the dimensions of the base. 2.5 plus 2.5 is equal to 5, 6, and 7. And I subtract 60 from both hand side. That becomes 70 divided by 7 both hand side. X is less than and equal to 10. So the one side of the figure can be maximum 10 inches. Make sense? This question is related with difference of squares. Who remembers that?
Me.
Go ahead, tell me the formula.
Okay.
A squared minus b squared is equal to, don't tell me, c squared.
I forget. I'm telling you, I forget.
2ab.
Okay, a squared plus b squared is c squared in geometry, Pythagorean theorem. This is right. But in algebra, a squared minus b squared is equal to,
Yes.
A square.
good job, Roger. Say again. Who remembers?
A squared plus b squared plus a.
A minus.
Right, Broly, remember that. Good job. A plus b, a minus b.
That's it?
We're going to use this formula.
Wow, and I forget.
So, this expression is equal to that expression, but I need to find the right k from here. Which one is the right k? Let's get started. Try and root 2, okay? Let me put it down here. 1 over 3 x squared minus 2. Okay, x squared minus 2. So I can put that, since 1 over 3, I can write it down like this. X squared over 3. Does that make sense? 1 times x squared over 3 minus 2. Let's apply the formula. Let's apply the formula. So the first term was x squared, so the second is going to be x over
3.
we're taking the square root of it, since it becomes square root, right?
Yes.
So you're going to take the square root of it. Square root of x squared is x. And square root of 3, yes, square root of that number is square root, not the square.
How would you do that?
Because what I'm doing that, it's because the formula is telling me to do this. A squared, take the square root of it, a, right? So you're supposed to do the same thing, square root of all of that, the second term, first term here, which is x over root 3. This is one of the hardest questions in the test. I can say hardest question in the test. Minus, so b squared become b. So 2 will become root 2. Now I'm going to do the positive. That's it. Plus root 2. We're trying answer choice B. X plus root 6. We distribute that. And also we have 1 over 3 here. And am I able to get this one or not? That's the question. Is that clear so far? Where did I get 1 over 3? No, look at the question. What did I do here? I just plugged in k. I just plugged in root 6 to k. That's it. It was there. 1 over 3 was the question over there. Now, distribute that. X times x. And then, root 6 times x. Look, they'll cancel out. They'll cancel out. Anyways, I'm going to write everything. X times x squared plus root 6x. And then, multiply 2 of them, negative root 6x, and then root 6 times root 6 is equal to root 36. What is root 36? Is equal to? What is root 36? 6. As you guys see, they canceled out. And what we get? X squared plus 6 and over 3 right here. Perfect. So is that equal with the question? That's exactly equal because this one is x squared over 3 plus 6 over 3, which is, you can write it like that. Question solved. You can do it. You see that x equal to 4, correct? You saw that when you plug in 4 here, 2 times 4, 8 plus 8, 16, so that satisfies, you're right.
X is equal to 4.
If x equals 4, what is the answer? 8. Or you can just solve it. X equals 4, when you plug it in, 4 plus 4, 8. MQ and NR.
We were just learning at the streets.
MQ, perfect. MQ and NR intersect here. E, so NP is equal to QP. Okay. And then there's one more thing. NP is equal to PR. NP is equal to PR. Alright. So that means it's isosceles. What is the question? Circle the question. What is the measure in degrees of QMR? QMR, the middle angle. Q, start from here. Q, M, R. So that angle, right? What is the question? We're looking for this angle. Okay. So, can you tell me what is the measure of that blue thing? Are you all agree?
Yeah.
It's 120 because it is straight angle, right? That's at 180. So look at, focus on this perfect isosceles triangle. Yes, 180 minus 120 is equal to 60. So 60 is sum of that two angles. This one and that one. Right. So and they are equal. This is x equals x. X plus x is equal to 60. One of x is equal to a number of radians in a 720-degree angle can be written as a pi. 720-degree angle, a pi. What is a? The constant. What is the value of f? we're supposed to know that pi is equal to not right. Right. You complete the sentence. Pi is not equal to 3.42 in this question. This is about trigonometry. We're going to assume that we want 180. Okay? So it's saying that 720 degree angle should be written in gradient. If there is a pi, that means it's gradient. So how to convert? In order to convert degree to radian, we have this formula. Just multiply by pi over 180. So that makes, when you simplify that, from 2 to 4 pi. A pi. So saying that what is A? Since you can burn it, the graph of a line in the xy plane passes through the point and crosses the x-axis. So if you draw that, you'll be able to see better, and also you can show this algebraically. Let me do that here. Okay, pass through 1, 4. X1, Y is 4. The graph is XY plane pass through 1, 4. And cross x-axis at 3.20. So the graph is going to be okay. And then what is the question? The line crosses the y-axis at point 0 b. So that is 0, comma b. Am I right? 0, comma b. So what is the value of b? Okay. You can see the slope, right? For example, rise over run thing, remember? What is the run? 1, 2, 3, 4. So rise is 4, run is 1, right? So rise over run, which is, actually I could have done this better. Rise over run. Let's do rise over run. Rise and run. It is 4. So slope is -4 here since we're leaning to the left. So you're going to do the same thing here. So the point is 1 here. So you will rise and run. Rise 4 units. Run 1 unit. 4 and 4 was here. It's going to be 8, right? Y intersection 8. Without a formula, you can do that. Rise over run. Rise 4 units. Run 1 unit. I think it's 2, correct? The point is 2 here. Intersection is saying that. 2 here. Rise, run. Rise 4, run 1. So 4 plus another 4, another 8. In this question, we'll just distribute and add stuff. 7, 5. 7, 5, 3, 2 plus y squared plus 100, 10 times 10, 100 y squared. When you multiply at -1, 1, 0, 0. So 200 add like terms. You guys add like terms, let me do those. These are like terms, and the numbers are like terms. So add that too. So 200 y squared plus 7, 5, subtract 7, 6. Thank you. So that's like 5 minus 1, 4, 6, then double 0 here. So let's put this underneath and then match a y squared plus b. So where a and b are constant, what is a plus b? So in that case, so A is going to be this, and then B was going to be that. When you add it up, 400 plus 200, 8, 600. Does that make sense?